Hi, my name is Mason Waring. I'm a CCK partner. I'm joined here with my colleague, CCK attorney Leah Small. Today we're going to talk about long-term disability benefit offsets. It's something that a lot of people experience. We get a lot of calls about this issue. It can be confusing, so we're going to try to unpack that for you here today. So let's start, Leah, by talking about just what is a long-term disability benefit offset.
Absolutely. So when you have a long-term disability claim, you might hear things about your gross long-term disability benefit and your net long-term disability benefit. Your gross benefit is typically either a fixed monthly amount or a percentage of your pre-disability earnings, depending on the terms of your policy. But most policies often have offsets, which are things that reduce the amount the insurance company pays you each month, and that then results in your net LTD benefit.
And what are some common examples?
So number one, read your policy, because this can vary widely policy to policy, but ones we see a lot are Social Security benefits, either disability or retirement, workers' compensation benefits, unemployment benefits, if you're receiving state disability benefits, pension benefits can be an offset. If your policy allows you to work and still receive long-term disability benefits, then your work earnings can be an offset as well. And it's important to know in your policy, they can be called a few different things. It could be referred to as other income benefits, deductible sources of income, offsets. So you have to read your policy carefully to make sure you're understanding all the provisions that might apply.
Right. And with Social Security benefits, we see commonly if someone has children or other dependents, those benefits can be added into the offset as well. That's something a lot of people don't realize. So again, really important to read your policy to understand what offsets apply. Right. And so if there is an offset, how do the insurance companies typically calculate it?
So it's going to depend potentially on the type of offset at play. So some offsets, such as Social Security or state disability, is a dollar for dollar reduction. So they'll simply subtract whatever amount you're receiving from those sources from your long-term disability benefit, and that results in the net benefit. Other types of offsets, such as work earnings, sometimes have a formula that applies. So it's not straight dollar for dollar. They might do a comparison of your benefit and your pre-disability earnings and your current earnings to do a calculation to determine how much should be offset each month.
And again, you got to read your policy.
Absolutely.
Because they can really vary from one to the other. And you know, if this kind of issue comes up for you, it's a great thing to reach out to an attorney about. People reach out to us, and we can counsel them on their offset issues.
Right.
And so another thing we see is people reaching out with the question, you know, what if the offset is greater than my benefit? How do the insurers handle that?
So most of these policies have what we refer to as a minimum monthly benefit. And again, it can vary policy to policy, but oftentimes it may be 10% or $100 per month. So if your offsets reduce your LTD benefit below that amount, you'll still receive that monthly minimum benefit each month. And the only thing to keep in mind, though, oftentimes with things like work earnings, that can result in an actual termination or end of your benefits if those offsets go too high. So that's important to keep in mind as well. And again, it all depends on the type of offset, so read your policy really carefully.
And something else that we see in our practice, and it's also a frequently asked question from people calling in, what happens if I get a lump sum, like, say, Social Security retroactive award? How do the insurance companies apply? How should they apply an offset to the LTD benefits?
If you receive a retroactive award like that, a lump sum, typically that's going to result in overpayment of your LTD claim because the insurance company is going to look at it as they should have been offsetting those benefits, but they were paying you your full benefit, your gross benefit each month, as you may end up having to pay money back to the insurance company in that case. If it's a situation, and we see this a lot with potentially workers' comp settlements or personal injury settlements, where it's a lump sum that doesn't cover a certain period of time, the insurance company may assign a period of time to it to determine whether there's an overpayment and whether there's going to be an offset going forward.
And with these issues, we see policy interpretation coming into play. Again, really important to read it. And then sometimes the policy isn't clear on it.
Right.
And there can be issues about how you need to repay the benefits or if you need to repay them at all. Sometimes the insurance company will allow you to keep the sum of money, or the policy will allow for that, and then they can just reduce the benefit until the overpayment is satisfied. There's a whole host of issues, probably too many to go through here, and it is, you know, fact specific. Right. So again, another really important thing to reach out to an attorney if you're experiencing that. And then another thing, this is probably the top three like FAQs here, these items, but is, you know, can the insurance company make someone apply for an other income benefit that'll be an offset?
So short answer, as we said a lot, read your policy, but oftentimes, yes. Oftentimes these policies will specify that you as the claimant have the obligation to apply for all other income benefits that you may be eligible for. And often they'll further provide that if you don't apply, the insurance company can estimate what they think you'd get if you did apply and still reduce your LC benefit accordingly. So again, read your policy, but usually they can make you apply if you are eligible.
And what, from a practical perspective, should someone do if either the insurance company starts applying an offset or they want to make you apply for a benefit?
So start with reading your policy, but it can also be a great time to contact a lawyer like us because these issues can be complicated and fact-specific and involve a lot of interpretation. But if you're going to try and handle it yourself, read your policy to understand first, are they taking something that is an offset under the policy? Is it an appropriate offset to begin with? That's the first thing. But you also want to look at, are they calculating the monthly offset or overpayment or whatever the issue may be appropriately? Because even if they are allowed the offset, they may not be taking the correct amount from your benefit. And so those are the two big things you want to look at. But like we said, if it's you don't fully understand, you're not sure if it's right, you can reach out to an attorney. We're happy to review and can help provide guidance on those types of issues.
Well, thank you, Leah. Important information. Thank you all for joining us here. If you have any topics that you'd like to cover in a future video, please leave a comment. Please subscribe to get future videos from us. And if you have any questions or problems with your long-term disability insurance claims or benefits, please reach out to us. Our number is 401-331-6300. You can also find us at cck-law.com. Thank you very much.